In this lecture and in my next lecture, I'll discuss the frequency response of the amplifiers which are based on the bipolar junction transistors. But in order to understand the frequency responses, we first have to understand the low pass response, what is high pass response, and what is band pass response. So that is why this particular lecture I have dedicated to discuss only these low pass, high pass, and band pass responses. When I'm talking about the frequency response or the bandwidth, specifically, the bandwidth of any device can go beyond some kilohertz, megahertz, even gigahertz. So, such a wide range of bandwidth when you want to plot what a simple graph, so that it is not possible to accommodate the 10 to the power 3, 10 to the power 6, or even 10 to the power 9 uh, range of hertz or a simple graph paper. So that is why we need a special type of graphs to plot this wide range of frequency ranges. So that plot is basically known as the semilog graph paper, and we first have to understand what is the semilog graph paper and how we can plot the frequency wide range of frequency scales over the semilog graph. So that is why first I will discuss the semi-logarithmic scale and the graph associated with the semi-logarithmic scale. Next is a simple low pass filter and the frequency response associated with the simple low pass filter that I'll discuss. Corresponding to that, the high pass filter I also will discuss, and the next or the last one is the band pass filter response. Basically, when you uh, cascade to one high pass with another low pass filter response, the entire frequency response appears as the band pass frequency response. And what is low pass, what is band pass, and what is high pass, so though all those things will be discussed in this particular lecture. Before going to start, we have to understand what the frequency response is. The frequency response is basically associated with the speed of a device. Any kind of device has a limited speed. Say for example, our uh, general purpose computers, our PC, desktops, laptops, our mobile phones, they also are limited in speeds, and that is why newer versions of the gadgets or electronics gadgets we prefer for having a better speed. And that speed means the time taken by the particular device to perform a particular operation is known as the speed. But when we are dealing with the amplifiers, it is the maximum number of cycle per second the particular amplifier can deal or can amplify. That is the speed of that particular amplifier. That means when you are asking for the speed of an amplifier, you must have to mention that the number of or maximum number of cycle of the input signal for which the amplifier can amplify faithfully. So that is defining the speed of that particular amplifier. And maximum number of cycle per second is nothing but the frequency. So the maximum number of cycle per second that an amplifier can handle means the maximum frequency of the input signal the maximum the amplifier can handle. So that basically defines the speed of that amplifier. So the wider range of frequencies it can handle, the larger speed the amplifier has. So therefore, the range of frequency within which the amplifier can perform faithful amplification is associated with the speed of the amplifier, and we call technically the bandwidth of the amplifier. That means an amplifier can work better or can perform faithfully within the range of its bandwidth. When the frequency gets increased or decreased beyond the range of the amplifier's bandwidth, then the performance of the device is compromised or it deteriorates. We'll see in this particular lecture how the low pass response and high pass response, even the band pass responses, uh, are deteriorates when you are moving beyond the range of its bandwidth range. So as I'm telling the bandwidth, it means there will be certain range of frequencies, and those range of frequencies can be understood or can be labeled by some values of the frequency. So The minimum and maximum values of the frequency within which your amplifier works properly, that range of frequencies are called the bandwidth, and the lower range of that frequency is called the lower cutoff frequency, because below that cutoff frequency the output of the amplifier deteriorates, and the value of the frequency at the higher side, beyond which your amplifier output gets deteriorated, so that value of the frequency is called higher cutoff frequency. And amplifier and the bandwidth basically defined by the difference between the higher cutoff frequency and the lower cutoff frequency. As I told at the beginning of this lecture, that while we are going to deal with a wider range of frequencies, we should know how can we plot such a wider range of frequency in a simple paper, and that is being enabled by using a semi-log graph paper. So here I have represented a sample of the semi-log graph paper where the x-axis is scaled in log scale, whereas the y-axis is scaled in linear scale. In addition to the log scale, or in addition to the x-axis, if the y-axis is scaled in log, then that paper is, or that graph is called the log-log graph paper. But for our purpose, or to represent a frequency response, a semi-log graph paper is sufficient. So let's try to understand how we can plot a frequency over this semi-log graph paper. So in order to understand that, we first have to understand how their marking appearing over here. So these are the major ticks. This 1, 10, 100, 1000. These are called the major ticks. And in between there exists the minor ticks. Now each major ticks is appearing as 10 times than the previous major ticks. If it is starting with 1, then the next major tick will appear 10, 10 times of the 1. Similarly, the 10 times of the 10, the next major tick will appear with 100, and the next major tick will appear 10 times of the 100, that means 1000. Similarly 10 to the power 4, 10 to the power 5, 10 to the power 6. For the minor ticks, the similar rules will be followed. That means within the range of 1 to 10, the minor ticks are increasing as 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that. Similarly, when you are within the range of 10 and 100, then each minor ticks between 10 and 100 will increase like 20, 30, 40, 50, like that. Similarly, within the range of 100 and 1000, the minor ticks goes like 200, 300, 400, 500, and in such a way, all other minor ticks will be followed. So this is the fundamental process of semi-log graph paper. Now, for example, you want to plot a frequency, or you want to point a frequency of 100 hertz. So that means 120 hertz. So this is the 100, and this is the 120. So the at somewhere at this point it is your uh, frequency range. Now, corresponding to the 120, if you have the corresponding voltage or the current, you can plot it from here. Suppose you want to plot, suppose this level is suppose 2 volt. So at 120 you have the output voltage 2 volts, so corresponding to the 2 volt and corresponding to the value of 120, you have this line. So this is a 2 volt line, if I assume. So this will be the point where you should plot. So for 130, you have to go to over at this point. Now, if you want to plot at 1 megahertz, that means 10 to the power 6, then this is 10 to the power 5. So this point is 10 to the power 6, and for that you have to take a larger plot, or you can scale it up starting from 10 at this node. If it is 10, then it is 100, it is 1000, and then this point will come as 10 to the power 6 or 1 megahertz range. So you can plot your frequency range within this particular range. Similarly, if you want to plot starting from some smaller range, you can start it from point 1. So if it is 0.1, so this point will be 1, this will be 10, this will be 100, and so on. The y-axis is plotted, or you can plot the level of the voltage on or the current on the y-axis in linear scale, and this linear scale many times is presented in decibel, and decibel means 20 log of that quantity if want what you want to plot. In general, 10 log of the voltage we do use, but in case of the gain, when we use the gain, so gain is nothing but the ratio of the output voltage to the input voltage. So for that we do prefer to plot as 20 log of the ratio of output voltage to the input voltage. So that decibel, when the gain you are taking in decibel, so that decibel you can plot linearly along the y-axis. For the decibel greater than 1 represents the output voltage is greater than the input voltage. Decibel is equals to 1 representing the output voltage is equals to the input voltage, and when it is less than 1 it represents the output voltage is less than the input voltage. So that also can also be plotted on the y-axis. But other than the decibel scale, simple linear scale can also be plotted along the y-axis while you are plotting the frequency in log scale along the x-axis. So this is the basic introduction with the semi-log graph paper. Here I am going to give you the introduction of the simple low pass filter, which is made of one resistor and one capacitor. They are connected in series and both of them are connected with an input voltage source where the frequency of this input voltage source is I'm going to vary. Now, how this circuit is called a low pass filter. What is a low pass filter? Low pass filter means the filter which passes the frequency within some lower frequency range starting from 0 to a certain range, and after that range, that particular value of the frequency, the output deteriorates. So that is called low pass filter. Similarly, when I will discuss the high pass filter, you will see that high pass filter passes the frequency range uh, starting from some frequency greater than 0 up to infinity. So later on I will discuss the high pass filter. Right now, the low pass filter. The impedance of the capacitance, or which is basically the reactance, if I consider it is Z, so the output voltage can easily be found using the voltage divider rule. So output voltage is equals to the input voltage times the Z or the reactance of the capacitor divided by the reactance plus the resistor. Simple voltage divider rule you can use to find the output voltage. And if you take the ratio of output to input, so this ratio is nothing but represents a gain over here. Although for a passive circuit you cannot call it gain because the output voltage cannot be greater than the input voltage until and unless the any active device are present. But for the time being, I'm assuming it is a gain also. Since the output voltage depends upon the frequency as the input voltage, so gain also will depend upon the frequency, and this frequency dependent factor is appearing due to this capacitor because the reactance of the capacitor depends upon the frequency, and that is why output and input voltage both are depending upon the frequency, and so does the gain. A simplification over this expression will bring the expression for the gain as shown over here. And since it is a complex, so we can represent a complex term by the magnitude term and a phase term. So the magnitude you can easily find out as shown over here, which is 1 over root over 1 plus omega RC whole square, and the phase can be written as tan inverse of the omega RC. Now I'm going to do another little simplification. Here I have written omega as 2 pi f, and keeping f unchanged, I have clubbed all other terms, that means 2 pi r and c, and I named as fl. So we know the product of r and c is basically the time, and when you multiply this 2 pi and you take the inverse, so that obviously will give you the frequency. So it is a particular frequency which is a fixed value, and that depends upon this R and C, and that is called the cutoff frequency of the low pass filter. So that is the FL. So that means the output voltage of this circuit will be in some usable range when the frequency will be less than this FL. We'll examine this expression. So first I'm going to study when f is very less than this FL. When f is very less than this FL, and for the limiting case you can assume that f equals to 0. If f equals to 0, then the magnitude goes to 1. And when f is increasing, that means the frequency is increasing, frequency of the input voltage source. When the frequency of the input voltage source is increasing, how the gain is changing, you can find from this expression. When the frequency is increasing and it is less than FL, that means the cutoff frequency of this low pass filter, then the output or the gain decreasing. You can see from the next slide. Look at here. As I told that I am assuming f is very less than FL, which is the cutoff frequency of this low pass filter, and very less than FL means f is nearer to the zero frequency. That is why I put the limiting value f equals to 0, and I have obtained the gain is equals to 1, and f equals to 0 will make this phase angle 0. Next I will examine what will happen when f is equals to FL. Look at here. When f equals to FL, so that factor goes to 1. So 1 over root over 2, and the phase angle is pi by 4 because this omega RC was there. So at f equals to FL, that goes to 1, and tan inverse 1 means pi by 4. So it appears at pi by 4, 45 degree. Now the last one, when f is very greater than FL. When f is very greater than FL, that means we can assume that this factor goes to infinity because f divided by FL was there, and f is very large in comparison with this FL. So I am considering it is infinity. So when it is very large, so 1 over this very large factor will make this amplitude 0, and the phase angle goes to pi by 2, minus pi by 2 or minus 90 degree, which signifies that for a high frequency, these, since frequency term appears at the denominator of this reactance of the expression of the reactance of a capacitor, so this factor, the reactance goes to 0, or for that case we can assume that the capacitor behaves as a short circuit for a high frequency or for high frequency AC signal. And that is why all the current passes through this line, because the AC current, for a high frequency AC current, it finds this is the shorted reactance or resistive path. And the output, right now you are taking across a short circuit, and obviously you will get a 0 output for that. And since the output becomes 0, so gain falls down to 0, and the phase angle goes to minus pi by 2. So this is a summary of the low pass filter, where I have examined all of these points. That means for f very less than FL, the magnitude goes to 1, phase angle is 0 degree, and at f equals to FL, the magnitude goes to 1 over root 2, and the phase angle goes to minus pi by 4 or 45 minus 45 degree. And when f goes to very greater than FL, the amplitude goes to 0, and the phase angle goes to minus pi by 2 or minus 90 degree. And this FL, as shown over here, is the cutoff frequency, the frequency I told at the beginning of this lecture, that this filter is called the low pass filter because the frequencies less than the FLs are passed, because when f is very less than FL, the amplitude is 1 because the gain is equals to 1. So all the uh, input voltage having frequency less than the cutoff frequencies, that can produce the output which is equals to the input voltage. But when the frequency of the input voltage becomes larger than the cutoff frequency, the output goes to 0. So that is why it is called low pass filter, because it is producing the output for the input voltage having frequencies less than the cutoff frequency of this circuit, or the cutoff frequency defined by this circuit, and the cutoff frequency is 1 over root over 1 over 2 pi R and C. This is the plot of the magnitude plot of the low pass filter. We can see I am plotting over here, and this is 10 to the power 0. This is in log scale. 10 to the power 0 means at f equals to fl. At f equals to fl, we have seen that this point the magnitude was 1 over root 2, which is equivalently 0.707 or 70% of the peak magnitude. So you can see when f is very less than fl, within this range, the amplitude is approximately is equals to 1. That means the gain is equals to 1. That means the output voltage is following the input voltage. And as f is approaching towards fl, the output is decreasing, and we generally use the amplitude for f equals to fl, and we call this is the cutoff frequency. At cutoff frequency, the amplitude or the output voltage goes to 1 over root over 2 of the input voltage, or the gain goes to 1 over root 2. And as you are moving beyond the cutoff frequency greater than, when f becomes greater than fl, so output decreased further, as shown over here. So we can approximate, or we asymptotically we can say, so this is the uh, response of the low pass filter, although this is the actual response of the low pass filter. So we can approximate it like this. So this is a square. We can, if we draw as shown over here, so that square represents the asymptotic value of the low pass filter. The value of the input voltage having the frequency less than the cutoff frequency can produce the output of equal to 1. That means the output voltage is following the input voltage, but the input voltage having frequencies greater than the f equals to fl, or frequencies greater than the cutoff frequency of the circuit, will have the output voltage which is very less than the maximum value of the output voltage what you have obtained for f very less than the cutoff frequency of the circuit. This is the phase plot. Here we can see that for f very less than fl, it was close to 0 degree, and as you are decreasing and you have approached f equals to fl, the angle appears at 45 degree over here. And when you are approaching beyond that, that is f becomes very greater than fl, so you are approaching minus 90 degree. Now the high pass filter. The high pass filter, look at this expression. Just I have reversed the position of the capacitor and the resistor, and reversing their position I have obtained the response of the high pass filter. How? Follow this procedure. Here also I can find the output voltage uh, V naught using this input voltage, where the output voltage is the input voltage times the R divided by the reactance plus this R. And in a similar way, by which I have obtained the gain in the previous case, that means the low pass filter, here also I have obtained the gain for the high pass filter, that is the ratio of output voltage to input voltage, and the little rearrangement over here produces this expression for the gain. And here also I am taking the magnitude and phase separately. That magnitude is appearing in a different way that appeared for the low pass filter, and phase is also appearing in a different way. And here also, if I write this omega as 2 pi f, and other than the f I have clubbed all other term, and defining fh as the cutoff frequency for the high pass filter, which is also equals to the 1 by 2 pi rc, and which is exactly equals to the lower cutoff frequency of the low pass filter what I have obtained in my previous slide. Here also the same cutoff frequency is appearing, but the difference is that this cutoff frequency is of a high pass filter, not of the low pass filter. That means for the previous case, the frequency is less than the FL, or this 1 over 2 pi RC was appearing at the output. That means the input voltage having frequencies less than, and this 1 by 2 over 1 over 2 pi RC was appearing at the output. But in this case, since it is the high pass filter, as I told, the high pass filter means it should pass the frequencies higher than the cutoff frequencies. and it will block the frequencies lower than the cutoff frequencies, just opposite to the low pass filter. So therefore, I am going to get the output voltage for the input voltage having frequencies greater than the FH and FH. So therefore, I'm going to examine this expression for F very very less than FH, F equals to FH, and F greater than very very greater than FH. So here FH appears at the numerator in this expression and F appears as the denominator. So FH by F is appearing in this expression, whereas for the expression of low pass filter it was appearing as F divided by FL. So for F very very less than FH, this goes to infinity because uh, I put F equals to 0 at the limiting value for the limiting value, and that appears the limiting value of infinity at the denominator of this expression, and that makes this magnitude 0, and this phase angle becomes minus pi by 2 or the minus 90 degree. It is just opposite to the low pass filter, where at F equals to 0 it was 1 and the phase angle was 0, and at F equals to very very greater than FL that was 0 and phase angle was 90 degree. But here the situation is just reverse than the low pass filter. At F equals to FH the situation is same or equivalent to the low pass filter because the magnitude is attaining 1 over root 2 and the phase angle is attaining minus 45 degree. And when you are approaching this frequency very very greater than FH, so it goes to infinity, your output voltage goes to 1 or the gain goes to 1 and the phase angle goes to 0. So this is a summary for the high pass filter. When F very very less than FL, it is gain expression goes to the magnitude of the gain goes to 0 and the phase angle goes to minus pi by 2. For F equals to FL, it is 1 over root 2, phase is minus 45 degree, and F very very greater than FL, the magnitude is 1 and phase angle is 0. And this is the plot. Look, this plot is just opposite to the low pass filter. For the low pass filter the plot was like this way, and in this case the plot is just opposite. So the output voltage is 1 for the input voltage having frequency greater than F equals to FH. So that is why it is called high pass filter, because it passes the frequency is greater than the cutoff frequency, which is FH. And passing the frequency means it is producing the output for the input voltage which has the frequency higher than the cutoff frequency, and the input voltage which has the frequency less than the cutoff frequency, for those frequencies the output voltage is very very less than the maximum available output voltage, that is the 1. So that is why we neglect those output which has the output voltage less than this 1 over root 2, and we generally consider those output having the voltage level greater than this 1 over root 2. That means more than 70% we do consider as the significant output voltage, and less than the 70% because 1 over root 2 is equals to 1.707, which is equivalent to the 70% of the maximum amplitude. So less than 70% we discard, and the greater than 70% we consider. This is the phase plot of the high pass filter. It is also appearing opposite to the phase plot for the low pass filter. For less than very very less than F equals to FH, it was minus 90 degree, and at F equals to FH it is approaching to 45 degree, and at F equals to FH it is minus 45 degree. And when you are moving beyond that, that means when F is very very greater than FH or the cutoff frequency of the circuit, you are approaching to the 0 degree. Next is the band pass filter. Now if you cascade one high pass filter and one low pass filter, now try to remember what was the frequency response of the high pass filter. The high pass filter was passing some frequency higher than the cutoff frequency, and it was increasing like this. So it was passing some higher frequency range, whereas the low pass filter was passing some lower frequency range. So if you cascade one high pass filter uh, and one low pass filter, that means you connect one high pass filter with a voltage source followed by one low pass filter. So first response will appear like this, that will pass some higher frequency range, and that higher frequency range depends upon this R and C, this R1 and C1. And for this low pass filter, this low pass filter will pass some frequencies less than the cutoff frequency defined by this R2 and this C2. So if R2 and C2, which is defining the higher cutoff frequency for the band pass filter, is greater than the cutoff frequency of the high pass filter, then you can obtain the band pass filter. In this case, as I have shown over here, the higher cutoff frequency or the cutoff frequency for the high pass filter, which is basically defining the lower cutoff frequency of this circuit, is 0.1 kilohertz, and the cutoff frequency of the low pass filter, which is at some higher value, which is equal to 2 kilohertz, depending upon these values of R2 and C2, and that defines the higher cutoff frequency of these circuit. So the high pass filter, the cutoff frequency for the high pass filter is denoted as FH, and that defines the lower cutoff frequency because this 0.1 kilohertz is less than 2 kilohertz, and the cutoff frequency of the low pass filter, that is denoted as FL, defines the higher cutoff frequency of the entire circuit because the 2 kilohertz is greater than the 0.1 kilohertz. So let's see how the frequency response should look like. Look at here. So this is 0.1 kilohertz and this is around 2 kilohertz, and within this range, this is the cutoff frequency due to the high pass filter, that is why I've denoted as FH, and this is the cutoff frequency due to the low pass filter, that is why I have denoted as FL. Don't be confused that this is the lower cutoff frequency and thinking this is the higher cutoff frequency. Don't, it is not. This is the lower cutoff frequency. FH stands for the cutoff frequency due to the high pass filter section, and FL stands for lower cutoff frequency, the cutoff frequency due to the low pass filter section. But this FL basically defines the higher cutoff frequency for the band pass response, and this FH defines the lower cutoff frequency for the band pass response. So this band pass response, this is the higher cutoff frequency section, and this is the lower cutoff frequency section. Although in my previous slide I have mentioned that the R1C1 defines the higher cutoff frequency and R2C2 defines the lower cutoff frequency, but in reality this is not exactly the thing, because since this R1 and R2 presents in the same circuit, a combination of this R1 and R2 basically defines these lower cutoff frequencies and this higher cutoff frequency along with the values of C1 and C2. So basically the capacitor which plays the major role to define these cutoff frequencies, not the resistors. Whatever the resistors are there, they will be associated with a particular capacitor and will define a cutoff frequencies. So the in order to define the cutoff frequency, capacitors played the major role. And this is the phase response. Initially it was, since this was the higher cutoff frequency section, or high pass filter section, which defines the lower cutoff frequency. So as we have seen that for f very less than fh, it was close to minus 90 degree, and starting it was tending towards the 0 degree, and before that, since the low pass filter section appeared, so it again bends to the minus 90 degrees starting from the 0 degree. Now the summary. As I told, the range of frequency within which the uh, device or the amplifier operates faithfully, that range of frequencies are called the bandwidth of the device, as shown over here. The If you take the difference between the higher cutoff frequency and lower cutoff frequency, so that difference is called the bandwidth for the circuits what I have presented in this lecture. So the bandwidth in generally expressed in dB scale. So in comparison with the dB, so this is the linear scale without the decibel, and if you take the 20 log of this 1 over root 2, which is equals to 0.707, you will get minus 3 dB. So you will hear that minus 3 dB bandwidth, which means that you are taking the difference of the frequency ranges when the magnitude is at minus 3 dB, or equivalently when the magnitude or the output voltage is the 1 over root 2 of the uh, maximum output voltage. So like this we can take the bandwidth, or we can decide the range of frequencies within which the output are being maintained, which is actually the bandwidth. And we have seen that each cutoff frequency, that means the cutoff frequencies for the high pass filter or the cutoff frequency of the low pass filter, even the cutoff frequency of the band pass filter, all the cutoff frequency basically is a function of the product of some resistor and some capacitor. And out of these two thing, the capacitor plays the major role, because uh, within any kind of circuit, we have seen in a small signal model of the BJT, uh, when you replace a transistor or an amplifier using its equivalent model, so there will be some combination of some resistor. So the equivalent resistor from the input side or from the output side, when they will associate with some capacitor, that those capacitor may be internal or may be external. So those capacitor being associated with some resistor, either internal or to the external, will define some cutoff frequency. So for each and every value of capacitors, there will be a separate cutoff frequency. And those things I'm going to investigate in my next lecture, and that lecture will be dedicated to define the frequency response of the bipolar junction transistors, and those frequency response will be defined by some capacitors which are based on external capacitors as well as the internal capacitors.